Now, it's a day of hectic diplomatic parleys in the national capital over India's position on Ukraine. Russian Foreign Minister Sergey Lavrov will begin his two-day visit to India today, and he'll be meeting India's Foreign Minister S Jaishankar tomorrow. As per reports, the visit will focus on India's purchase of discounted Russian crude oil. This is the highest level of engagement between the Indian and Russian governments since Moscow invaded Ukraine on Feb 24th. The meeting coincides with UK Foreign Minister and Foreign Secretary's visit to India today, where the UK leaders are believed to persuade India to reduce strategic dependence on Russia. At the same time, US Deputy National Security Advisor is also in Delhi for crucial deliberations ahead of the 2+2 talks between India and US in April. So it's going to be, over the next couple of days, it's going to be a lot of diplomatic conversations, diplomatic exchanges which take place between multiple parties here in New Delhi. I'm joined on the broadcast by Times Network's National Affairs Editor, Srinjoy Chaudhary. Srinjoy, so we have seen that India has, of course, been under a lot of pressure because of its neutral position on the Ukraine invasion so far. But the fact now it has to walk a very tight rope, actually, at this point in time, because Sergey Lavrov is in Delhi, is going to be in Delhi, rather, and you already have the top diplomats from UK and US also, who have in fact been, the West has been putting some amount of pressure on India in order to actually take a clear stand on Russia.
Well, the first person who came was actually the German, the equivalent of diplomat, the equivalent of the National Security Advisor, Mr. Plotner. And those meetings took place yesterday. Elizabeth Truss, who is the Foreign Secretary of Britain and the equivalent of External Affairs Minister S Jaishankar, will be here this evening. This is a short visit. She's coming in the evening at about 3 o'clock, late afternoon, and then going away at night. But she will be meeting S Jaishankar. And that, of course, will be followed by Sergey Lavrov's visit. That will be tomorrow. And all three are very important visits. The point is, India has played a very important role. And this is something, I remember speaking with a German diplomat. He said that we understand India's position, considering the kind of neighborhood it is part of. India's position has been to abstain. It has not really been neutral. It has abstained on many points. It has said we want an immediate ceasefire. Second, it has said that we want diplomatic dialogue. These are both issues the West agrees with India. Thirdly, it has said that these things have to be in the under the UN Charter. That too is a point that many Western nations agree with. Fourthly, India has said that after all this, there have to be talks. So all these issues have been looked at. Yes, there is an issue. The West is saying that why are you buying Russian petrol or Russian fuel? The point that has to be mentioned is that so is Germany, so are many European countries. They are not only buying petroleum, they are buying liquefied natural gas, they are buying coal. Germany, for instance, will continue to do this till 2024.
Right. Of course, some of these matters and aspects that you touched on, Srinjoy, is likely to be discussed in these, conversations which are likely to go on till between now and tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining us with that perspective and that understanding, a comprehensive view of what can be expected in these conversations, in these discussions, which the high-level discussions which will take place. The big one, of course, being that the Russian foreign minister, amid the Ukraine invasion, is on a two-day visit to India, is likely to reach Delhi by this afternoon. Now, as the war in Ukraine enters sixth week, one wouldn't have expected to see any Indians in Kiev after the successful evacuation operation. But one Indian has gone beyond the call of duty to provide free food to the beleaguered residents, as well as Ukrainian military personnel amid the full lockdown. Kuldeep, the owner of an Indian restaurant, feels his initiative to give free food is only a small gesture, and he owes it to the people of Kiev for helping his business flourish in the city. Our correspondent Deepak Bopanna had a conversation with Kuldeep.
Very interesting place that I am right now standing at. While most of the restaurants, of course, remain shut, there is, of course, an Indian in Ukraine who's now opened up a restaurant for people who could get some warm food. There are military personnel, there are police personnel, there are Ukrainians who are coming here on a regular basis because, hardly a handful of supermarkets or even a couple of restaurants that are open at this point in time. Joining me is Mr. Kuldeep. आप बता सकते हैं कि कुछ नहीं मिल रहा है रास्ते में, लोगों को खाना नहीं मिल रहा और आप फ्री में खाना दे रहे हैं, सिर्फ इंडियंस को नहीं बाकी सब लोगों को।
देखिए, इंडियंस तो रहे भी नहीं अब यहाँ के इंडियंस को खाना दें, लेकिन यूक्रेनियन जितने भी हैं, जो लोग बूढ़े हैं उनको दे रहे हैं, आर्मी वालों को दे रहे हैं, पुलिस वालों को दे रहे हैं, सबको दे रहे हैं, क्योंकि यहाँ से बहुत पैसे कमाए हुए हैं, उनको किसी तरीके से इनको रिटर्न करना है। लोग तो अपने बच्चों को लड़ाई में भेज रहे हैं जहाँ पे उनकी मौत भी हो रही है, शहीद हो रहे हैं, जहाँ पर हम तो सिर्फ खाना कर रहे हैं। तो छोटी सी चीज़ है और हमारी कोशिश रहेगी महीना 2 महीने 3 महीने जितना भी ये वॉर चलेगा, हमारे यहाँ से फ्री खाना, फ्री सब कुछ रहेगा, जारी रहेगा।
You're doing a great job and a service. Thank you, Kuldeep ji.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Well, you can see here a lot of people who've come in. They are getting food at this point in time, and mind you, it is difficult right now to get supplies to even prepare food at home, and that's the sort of situation here in in Kyiv. And last night as well, a few kilometers from here, there was another round of explosions that took place. As the military here continues to remain, as I mentioned, in high presence. The biggest challenge, of course, now is how to put an end to this war. Yesterday, the negotiations in Istanbul, of course, did suggest that there will be a pullback from the Russian forces, especially around Kyiv region. But an explosion last night itself has not really fared too well. So we'll really have to see before the next round of negotiation and dialogue that happens between Ukraine and Russia.